The sterling mercantile bank gleamed with sterile perfection, marble floors reflecting fractured sunlight streaming through tall glass panes. The quiet hum of printers, keyboards, and murmured voices created an atmosphere of control. Yet beneath the polished surface, tension pulsed like a hidden current. Alana Vance stood in line, her leather tote held firmly against her side. She wore a navy dress, modest jewelry, and shoes chosen for practicality, not attention. Her father had once told her, "When you walk into a room, let them underestimate you. Let their assumptions be your armor." Today, she relied on those words, but she felt it, the faint, familiar shift in air, the silent stares that weren't really stares, the suspicion before a single word was spoken. She breathed slowly, bracing herself as the line edged forward. When her turn arrived, she stepped to the counter and placed a check on the smooth granite. "Good morning," she said evenly. "I'd like to deposit this." The teller, Rebecca, glanced at the paper. Alana saw the transformation immediately, the polite mask sliding away, replaced by a cautious suspicion. Rebecca held the check as if it were counterfeit, lifting it to the light. Alana remained still. The check was legitimate, a sizable amount, signed by Julian Sterling, the CEO, and Alana's husband. But to Rebecca, the name meant nothing. "I'll need to see your ID," Rebecca said, voice clipped. Alana handed over her driver's license. Rebecca gave it a cursory glance, unimpressed. "Do you have anything else?" she asked. Her tone carried the weight of unspoken judgment. Alana suppressed a sigh, pulling out more: corporate badge, credit card, insurance card. A small archive of identity. Behind her, customers shifted restlessly. Whispers rose, sharp as needles against her skin. "Is there a problem?" Alana asked quietly. Rebecca didn't answer. She pressed a button. "Mr. Vance, please come to the counter." A tall man in a gray suit emerged, his smile practiced but hollow. He didn't greet Alana. Instead, he spoke to Rebecca. "What's the issue?" "A large check," Rebecca replied, deliberately vague, but he took it, studied it with exaggerated seriousness, and gave a humorless laugh. "Julian Sterling?" Signed to her. His eyes flicked to Alana. "This is your husband?" "Yes," Alana said firmly. His smirk deepened. "Quite the sum. Without further verification, we can't process this." "It's payable to your bank," she countered, voice steady. "What more do you need to verify?" "Ma'am," he said, lowering his tone, "please calm down." There was the trap, the subtle recasting of her as the problem. Around her, sighs and coughs rippled through the line. He turned to the others. "Apologies for the delay. Complicated transaction." Heat rose in Alana's chest, but she forced composure. "Very well," she murmured when he pointed her toward a pair of hard chairs near a wilting plant. She walked with deliberate grace, refusing to appear diminished. Rebecca and Mr. Vance whispered over the check, their smirks unmistakable. Patrons avoided looking at her. Politeness was always their shield. "At last," Mr. Vance called her back. "We're having difficulty verifying this," he announced loudly. "You're holding up the line. Please step aside." Alana's jaw tightened. "I beg your pardon?" "You're inconveniencing our real customers." He gestured to the impatient line. Her cheeks burned, but her voice was calm. "I'm a customer. I have a right to be here." His smile vanished. He snapped at Rebecca. "Call security." She obeyed instantly. Moments later, Paul, the security chief, arrived, tall, broad-shouldered, hand resting near his belt. His eyes swept over Alana with cold assessment. "Problem here?" His voice carried quiet menace. "Yes," Mr. Vance replied smoothly. "This client is uncooperative and causing a scene." Alana's stomach clenched. She hadn't raised her voice, hadn't moved, but the narrative was shifting against her. Paul's gaze hardened. "Ma'am, step away from the counter." The lobby stilled. People leaned closer, hungry for spectacle. "I am a customer," Alana said, chin high. "I have identification and a valid check. I'm not leaving." Paul's fingers drummed his belt. Rebecca smiled openly now. Mr. Vance spread his hands in false exasperation. "We try to help, but she refuses to cooperate." How can we serve others with this interference? Murmurs of agreement stirred the line. Alana forced her voice steady. You're refusing to serve me. Paul's hand shifted closer to his holster. Ma'am, he repeated, each syllable deliberate. Step away. Now. The weight of every gaze bore down. Her heart thundered, but she remembered her father's words. Don't run. Make them see you. She took a slow breath. No. A gasp rippled through the lobby. For a split second, silence reigned. Rebecca's smirk frozen, Mr. Vance's smugness faltering, Paul's hand poised. The air vibrated with tension, fragile and electric. Then Paul's radio crackled. A voice cut through the silence. Security, report to the executive offices immediately. Urgent. Paul's jaw clenched. He glanced at Mr. Vance, then at Alana. Stay right here, he ordered before striding away. Rebecca frowned. Mr. Vance shifted uneasily, masking it with irritation. This isn't over, he muttered. Alana stood rooted, her tote strap biting into her hand. The stares, the whispers, the humiliation, every moment carved into memory. But beneath it all was a strange, quiet certainty. Something had shifted. She didn't know what awaited her when Paul returned. She only knew this. She would not leave, not in silence. And as the bank's hum resumed, cold and indifferent, Alana's eyes never left the counter. Because the real battle had only just begun. Alana gripped her purse tighter as Mr. Vance smirked at the counter. She just won't listen, he told the line. Paul, the security guard, stepped forward, his shadow falling over her. Ma'am, he warned, thumb hovering over his radio. The unspoken threat froze her breath. I want to speak with someone who has real authority, Alana forced out. You're looking at him, Vance replied, smug. Paul blocked her view, cutting her off from the counter and her check. The lobby hushed, customers staring with cruel fascination. Alana's heart pounded, but she refused to cry. The doors slid open. A tall man in a charcoal suit entered, Julian Sterling. Instantly, the atmosphere shifted. Vance nearly stumbled in eagerness, rushing forward. Mr. Sterling. Welcome, sir. Sterling barely glanced at Alana, eyes flashing annoyance before dismissing her completely. Vance whispered loudly, just a misunderstanding, then ushered him away with fawning promises. Alana felt invisible. He mattered. She did not. Rebecca, behind the counter, sneered openly. You don't belong here. Alana stared at the tiny scratch on her purse zipper, forcing herself not to flee. Every whisper from the line cut her like paper. When Vance returned, his smile faltered at seeing her still there. Still here. I'm waiting for you to verify my check, Alana said firmly. His politeness evaporated. Snatching the check, he held it aloft. This? We're supposed to take this seriously. It's valid. Drawn on your bank. Signed by your CEO. Vance laughed, cruel and sharp. Let me save us all some time. He tore the check in half. The sound cracked like a gunshot. Alana gasped, her vision burning with tears she refused to release. Don't waste our time, Vance sneered. We have real clients. Laughter rippled from the line. Alana's voice broke, but carried. That was my property. You had no right. I have every right to protect this bank from fraud, Vance shot back. And that's what you are. Fraud. The word crushed her chest like ice. Fraud. Not insult. Accusation. Turning away, Vance gestured for the next customer. People passed her as if she were nothing. Rebecca's smile returned, sweet for others, bitter for her. Alana's knees weakened, but fury stiffened her spine. You can't do this, she cried out. Vance paused, eyes narrowing. I'm a supervisor, and you are finished here. Silence fell again. The line moved on. Her check was gone, her dignity trampled, but her fists clenched. She whispered to herself, steady and low, this isn't over.